Well, it's me. Welcome to the show. And speaking of worlds we've never seen, let us talk about worlds we may have never heard of, or at least I had never heard of until just recently. So, in honor of World Space Week, which runs from October through the 10th, I thought we would do a series of episodes this week on worlds that are so far away or so exotic that they hard to even wrap our minds around. And today, we're going to start with science. Science is such a big part of what we do here on SCI. In fact, sometimes it feels like we talk about science more than science fiction. But I realized just recently that there is actually something out there that is even bigger than science. And that thing is astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the universe, its properties and phenomena, and its structure. It's the oldest branch of natural philosophy dating back thousands of years. In fact, many scientists think astronomy was kind of the seed from which all other sciences grew. Astronomy touches on physics and chemistry and geology and biology and even cosmology. There's so much to learn out there. It's really mind-boggling. I know I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'll watch an episode of Cosmos or listen to an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'll walk away thinking, I didn't know anything before, but now I know so much. The problem is, I also realize how little I actually know. But fortunately, if you want to know more about astronomy, there's a lot of places you can go. One place you can go is the largest planet in the solar system, Jupiter. Jupiter has more moons than any other planet in our solar system. In fact, at last count, it had 79 confirmed moons. That's more than Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, and Earth. And to celebrate that, NASA held a contest where people could name some of the most recent discoveries. One of those is named after the famous science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke. There's another place you can go, and that's one of my favorite fictional locations. It's the homeworld of Spock from Star Trek Vulcan. Now, obviously, Vulcan is not a real place, but what inspired the creators of Star Trek when they created Vulcan is very real. It's the island of Sicily. If you've ever been there, you will see the connection. But if you haven't, don't worry. You probably still recognize the iconic view of the mountains of the homeworld of Spock. Speaking of mountains, you can always go there. Just leave the solar system. Leave the galaxy. Head to the constellation Andromeda because there's a dwarf galaxy there called M32, which actually has a black hole at its center. A supermassive black hole, which means there's a good chance that there are stars orbiting that black hole. And since stars need gravity to orbit things, there must be planets around those stars. This might mean that there are potentially habitable worlds around black holes. And yes, I am aware that there are conflicting theories on whether or not you can live near a black hole, but hey, science, right? You could even take a trip to Alpha Centauri because there is a planet out there that's in the habitable zone of its star. It's called Alpha Centauri b, and it's amazing that we even know this. Because Alpha Centauri b is so close to us that it is often used as a target for new telescopes. It's also one of the few places that SETI has actually focused on. Your friends and family, they're gone. Your neighbors, they're gone. Your city, your state, your country, it's all gone. Every single living thing on the planet, including you, is gone. And all that's left behind is a single, lonely moon. I know this sounds like the setup for some kind of horror movie, but it's actually the only way I know of to describe what happened to this planet. This is WD 1136b, a planet about 1,300 light-years away, and it's probably one of the most hostile planets in the universe. Why? Well, it has a star, but it doesn't orbit that star. Instead, it orbits the moon of a gas giant. The star is WD 1136, a white dwarf located in the constellation of Cancer. But because of its size and its mass, it's no longer capable of sustaining life. So any life that may have existed on WD 1136b died billions of years ago. Not only is this planet 1,300 light-years away, but it's also 3 times the size of Earth. So even if you could get there, there's no air to breathe, there's no water to drink, and there's no life to meet. It's completely lifeless. But this is not the only dead planet out there, not even close. In fact, there are probably trillions of dead planets out there. Planets that were once teeming with life, but are now completely empty. But that's okay, because as long as there's one planet out there with life, that's all that matters. Of course, we haven't found that planet yet. But one day we will, and it may not be a planet at all. It may be a moon. After all, it's estimated that there are around 2 trillion moons in the Milky Way. So there's a lot of places to look. If you want to find life elsewhere in the universe, you can go to Europa, you can go to Enceladus, you can go to Titan, you can go to Proxima Centauri b, or you can stay here on Earth and do science at the South Pole or anywhere else. And who knows, maybe someday we will find that life, maybe even intelligent life. Maybe someday we will make contact with an alien species, and maybe they will even teach us something about ourselves. After all, there's a lot of things we don't know about the universe. And there's even more things that we don't know that we don't know. There's so much out there that's unknown, so much that's undiscovered, and so much potential for discovery. And that's what makes science and astronomy so exciting. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know. So happy World Space Week. And remember, no matter where you are in the universe, there's always something out there that's worth exploring. If you enjoyed this sci-fi, please feel free to check out more of my content. And as always, thank you for watching.